Tbone collision sends one driver to the hospital. Washington County officials hold a meeting on loss of land if the northern corridor is denied. And your daily weather forecast coming up with highs, lows, and everything you need to know for the days ahead.
You're watching St. George News at 5, brought to you by our studio sponsor, Me Win Injury Law.
Good afternoon, I'm Monica McLaughlin. A Tbone collision at the intersection of Tabernacle Street and 900 East in St. George sent one driver to the hospital Wednesday evening after her vehicle flipped onto its roof. Here's Eric Gould with the details.
A Tbone collision between an Audi Q5 and a Ford Fusion on Wednesday evening sent one person to the hospital, according to police. St. George Police Sergeant Brian Groves told St. George News that the driver of the Audi failed to yield to the oncoming Fusion, which then struck the Audi in a T-bone collision and knocked the Audi onto its top. The female driver of the Audi, Groves said, was taken to the hospital for further treatment. The driver was also issued a citation for failure to yield after a stop sign, Groves said.
Thanks, Eric. The Washington County Commission held a packed town hall meeting Tuesday night to discuss the impact of federal agencies denying the Northern Corridor right-of-way, which jeopardizes the protected status of Zone 6, a key habitat for the Mojave Desert tortoise. We'll go to Maury Kessler for more on the community's response and the potential next steps in preserving this area.
With the recent denial of the right-of-way for the Northern Corridor through the Red Cliffs National Conservation Area by federal agencies, the future of Zone 6 looks bleak, according to Washington County officials. However, they also say there may be a slim chance to save the 6,800-acre area, along with the protections it brings for the Mojave Desert tortoise and popular recreation spots within it. That was the topic of a public town hall meeting held Tuesday night by Washington County Commissioners and County Attorney Eric Clark before a packed house at the county's administration building. Commissioner Snow shared more about the purpose of the meeting that evening.
We had a town hall here tonight with the recreation groups and many others from the public about the future of Zone 6, the future of the Northern Corridor, and what's happening with federal decisions in the last weeks of the Biden administration and what the county plans to do after that.
The overall purpose of Zone 6 was to act as an offset or trade for land in the Red Cliffs National Conservation Area that would be disturbed by the construction of the 4.5-mile-long roadway. Clark said the land within Zone 6 is considered to be prime desert tortoise habitat and is also home to popular outdoor recreation spots like Moe's Valley and the Bear Claw Poppy Trail system. However, protections afforded apart Zone 6 land over the last few years are poised to go away as the zone's existence is exclusively tied to the approval of the Northern Corridor right-of-way that was denied last week by the Bureau of Land Management and U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Over 3,300 acres within Zone 6 is owned by the Utah Trust Lands Administration, which agreed to set aside the land for the Tortoise Reserve provided the Northern Corridor was built. With that possibility likely going away, the agency is poised to allow development of the area moving forward, which stands to wipe out prime tortoise habitat and popular outdoor recreation sites.
The Bureau of Land Management recently acquired nearly 5 acres along the Virgin River, adding it to the Red Cliffs National Conservation Area to preserve its recreational, historical, and ecological value. For more about the significance of this land and the wildlife it will help protect, here's a closer look.
The Bureau of Land Management purchased nearly 5 acres of land along the Virgin River in the historic Babylon area near Leeds. The land is valued for its natural, recreational, and historical resources, like the ruins of the Stormont Mill, which can be seen on a hill above the river. Additionally, the area is home to sensitive and endangered species, like the Mojave Desert tortoise, the southwestern willow flycatcher, and the Virgin River chub, as well as raptors, migratory birds, and bats, among other species.
Let's take a look at your daily weather forecast, brought to you by Casablanca Resort and Casino. In St. George, it's currently 63 degrees under sunny skies. Tonight, expect a low of 41. Tomorrow, plenty of sunshine with a high of 59 and a low of 40. Over in Mesquite, it's 67 degrees and sunny. Tonight's low will be around 44 degrees. Tomorrow, pleasant with plenty of sunshine, reaching a high of 64 and a low of 43. Up in Cedar City, it's currently 53 degrees and sunny. Expect a low tonight of 38. Tomorrow, sunny and beautiful with a high of 46 and a low of 26. Now we'll head over to Aaron Crane for your local sports update, brought to you by Stephen Wade Auto Center.
Thanks, Monica. Crimson Cliffs football heads into Salt Lake City this Friday to face Skyview in the 4A semifinals. The Mustangs are coming off a close win over Green Canyon, while the Bobcats pulled off an upset win against Provo. Utah Tech's football team heads into Senior Day with renewed energy after a big win over number 9 Central Arkansas, ending a 14-game losing streak. The Trailblazers, now 1-9, take on West Georgia this Saturday at Greater Zion Stadium. West Georgia, making its first ever trip to Utah, comes in with a strong defense and a dual quarterback system. Kickoff is set for 2 p.m. Now back to you, Monica.
Thanks, Aaron. Now we'll head over to Sheldon and Amy for your favorite weekend adventure guide.
That's right, so many great events happening this weekend. Starting at the Electric Theater, our friends at So You Comedy, the improv group, are putting on their uncensored version and a family-friendly version of improv. You gotta go see it. Make it a date night. So much fun.
Now, here's what you want to bring the kids to: Annie at the St. George Musical Theater.
Oh, Annie's such a great it's a Broadway hit, Annie. And St. George Musical Theater does it right. You gotta go over there. Speaking of which, Tuacahn has the Fab Four this weekend.
Get your tickets before it sells out.
And of course, at the Casablanca Resort Casino, we've got Greg Peterson. He brings the house down there at the Casablanca. And for a full list of weekend events, check out our TGIF listing on stgeorgenews.com.
Now back to you in the studio.
Thank you for watching St. George News at 5. To learn more about our studio sponsor, We Win Injury Law, go to wewininjurylaw.com. I'm Monica McLaughlin with St. George News, your #1 source for local news.
This has been St. George News at 5, brought to you by We Win Injury Law.